it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Good morning. Good evening, Elijah.
Hello, Bob.
Yes, officially, we were supposed to have more than just us guys, but I had problems with my computer and everyone lost patience, but you did not. I thank you for that. And so you're here. And I think that's an important quality of spiritual path to have patience and perseverance, as you well know.
I guess.
Uh, but uh, originally the topic was blessings, and I think we can still talk about that. But you had a very interesting question we just met. And could you ask that question again? About
Uh, you mean a few minutes ago or like a few days ago?
let's start your topic that you just brought up. I think it's a good question. So I want to be
Oh,
very
my question
spontaneous.
before
So
you started the recording was um, that you were 14 years old when you discovered Oahspe, right?
right, 14. I went
Yeah.
into a Walden's bookstore. My mother was with me, who's a very devout Catholic. We both opened it up and we started reading the first page. We both said, "Wow, this is so wonderful. It's beautiful, and um, I want to know more about this book." So I
Yeah.
eventually managed to get a loan from a library and start reading it. My mother rejected it completely later on, but anyway, I was young. I was so young when I started. So
14, that's a young age, yeah.
I've heard other stories from other people, and it's not so unusual to have heard people started young, but now they're old. They're old. They're like 60, 70, 80 years old, the people that I've talked to like that. So your question was, why can I not find anyone involved with the WASPy that is around your age, which is in your,
Yeah.
teenager 20s?
Yeah, I'm 21 years old and I'm also involved in some Oahspe Facebook groups, for example. And
Everyone's
it is
old.
really hard finding other people on the younger end of the spectrum, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
And
That's not a good
I have
sign.
the impression that, I don't know, like, is it because young people are not that spiritually inclined, or what is the
Uh,
reason?
uh, I think I think any societal question, there's more than one factor involved, and I don't think that's it. It could be, but I think it's because of the approach that the old timers have taken to this book, that they've gotten caught up in, they've made it into another church kind of thing, where the Book of Oahspe has become like a second Christian Bible, and where
Ah, that's
become
the
very
problem, yeah.
dogmatic, and they're saying, "Hey, but it says here in the Book of Judgment you should never do that, but it says this in the Book of Inspiration you should do that," and so that it becomes more the purpose of WASPy followers and readers is that the purpose is not to go out and help the poor or to create a good community. The purpose is to become a bean counter, Bible toting authoritarian. Does that sound
So
bad?
that's what they think, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't mean, and I don't, maybe we just don't have, maybe we're just all mixed up people and we don't really understand how to go about building a spiritual community. But I think that the main reason is there's a lot of people who were leaders in the movement, whether it's the Global Council or the Cosmin Church, they always tended to gravitate towards the purpose being to have rites and ceremonies and
Yeah.
to talk about metaphysical topics like they which they would write about in the Cosmin Journal and in other Faithist periodicals, and it might be something about how to have better dreams while you sleep for a better spiritual state. So it also gravitated to psychic phenomena.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
um so I don't think we've taken the right approach. and that's been my point. I've been writing a
I
book
think,
about
yeah.
all this. My point is, that's basically my point, is that we're not really following what Oahspe teaches. And so it's very, Oahspe teaches there should be no dogma. And we,
Like we are not a religion. That's what
not a
many people don't
religion,
understand. Yeah,
not a religion.
yeah.
And our focus has to be on the here and now. You think would attract young people, but instead it's about, hey, look here, look at these pictures, look at these symbols. Like
I
this,
mean, there's also a website which I think scares off many
yeah,
people,
it's
like
scary. That's it.
Oahspe.com. Yeah,
It's so scary. Um,
yeah. It's basically hating on Oahspe, and it
yeah,
shows us in a very bad light.
yes,
Like it's
yes,
like
yes,
they.
it
I
does.
mean, I agree that John Balloon Newbro, Dr. John Balloon Newbro,
Yeah,
made some mistakes
yeah.
when he tried to
Oh,
found a Shalom colony.
I've been
But
afraid to talk to you about that. I've been afraid to talk
yeah,
to you about that because I didn't want to scare you. But yeah,
no, no.
maybe that's
I'm
what the topic
like
today
I
should
told
be.
you
Is
before,
just
I'm
why is the
open
wasp so scary?
minded.
Um, I I was gonna just take some pictures. I mean, okay, here we are. Here, this is a waspy. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
There it is. You
Yeah,
feel
I also have the
comfortable?
version here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for us, for people who are more sophisticated like we are, we look at this and we say, well, I don't understand it, but I'm not going to worry about it. If I look at the plate of Simone, I'm not going to say, well, I don't know what it means, and it's probably a good thing, but I'm not going to worry about it. But a lot of people look at that stuff and they say, this is whack, or this is demonic.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. I mean, it looks like idolatry. It could be satanic, I suppose. It's something from the older world. I mean, it doesn't give you a good feeling, does it?
I understand what you mean. Like it is very intimidating,
Yeah.
and I think most of the things you show us is derived from the book of Imechava, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Book of Safaf. So here's more. See
yeah.
that? Oh, that makes me excited about Oahspe. I want to know more about it. No, it
But
scares
what they don't
people
know
too.
is that Oahspe is a very rich culture. That's what they don't know. Like Oahspe is not like I don't know. It is not a Bible book. That's what many don't understand. It's not the founding of a new religion. Like John Balloon Hebrew is not like the Mohammed of the Faithists organization, basically, or the Jesus of the Faithists organization,
Mhm.
like or a Mormon or somewhere like that. He
Mhm.
was just a medium, and I think that if you take a look at the Eloists
Oh
and
yeah.
at John Balloon Hebrew, for example, I think that they have been chosen just for the simple reason that they have been the most susceptible and sensitive mediums. Like they were the most talented mediums in the world at the time, and that's why the angels used them in order to convey Oahspe, in order to like channel Oahspe through them. And yeah, that's basically what happened. John Baluyubro, he was already a very spiritual person before he received Oahspe. He was a dentist, yes, that's right, but he also was very spiritual. He also had contact to the Freemasons, and in the olden
Oh
times, the
boy.
Freemasons were not that overshadowing organization they are today, that corrupt organization they are today.
Corrupt. That's a good word.
Yeah, in the past, they were actually a good organization. That's what many people don't know. Actually, the Freemasons have been
That's a good
founded
point.
by Faithists in the beginning,
Uh,
but then they
I
were
agree.
corrupted.
Good point. Good point.
That's basically like Star Wars. Like in the beginning, the Jedi were on the forefront, and then the Sith like corrupted
And
them.
corruption comes.
you know, you can
Yeah.
see it that way. And yeah, and John Newbro came from that direction, like from those Freemasons,
Hmm.
but from the good Freemasons. And then he received Oahspe.
Okay.
And yeah, that's
Okay.
why he was
I
chosen
want to
because he
fill in
already was
some.
spiritual.
What you
Yeah.
said is pretty darn accurate. And of course, we were talking about why Oahspe is scaring people off. Well, it's because of the strange rituals that are there in the book,
Yeah,
and there are people that practice them, and you can trace the links with those rituals from the Freemasons. And I think I want to believe that the original Freemasons, which included George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, I want to believe that they were good people. I'm not saying the original, but they were the ones in America anyway, that they were uncorrupted. But at some point, the Freemasons were corrupted, probably uh, before Oahspe was channeled. They were corrupt, okay?
yeah,
Um,
they
and
already were corrupt
basically,
at the time.
whether you say Freemasons or whatever you say, there is an organization where there's kind of association of the richest people in the world, the most powerful people in the world, who seek to control the world. And I mean, we're not part of that, but
No,
uh, part of it has been it's been satanic, and lots of evil practices had gone on, which I don't even want to talk about them because they're too disgusting for me to bring up. But Newbro went deep in that. He was a 33rd level Mason, okay?
yeah,
And that's not good. That's not a good sign at all. And I, I don't think I think he, because of his connection with them, a lot of the negativity from them has seeped into this Oahspe movement. And
yeah,
I I think it was intentionally done by the dark forces to keep people away from it. And so they put in the Book of Psalms.
yeah. That's a very good thing that you speak about. I think actually that's something a little people know, that the Faithist movement actually has a dark side. Like there is a dark side. Like I mean, it makes completely sense. I think that there are actually two um, binary sides of Oahspe. I think on the one hand, we have the Freemason, the Illuminatic side, you know, the cultic side of Oahspe.
Mhm.
But if I read Oahspe and if I remember some books correctly and some passages,
Mhm.
then I
Contradictions.
know for a fact that the Faithists have always been, in the course of history, the most secret organization in the world. And if you really take Oahspe for granted, then you will come to the conclusion that the Faithists were even more secretive than the Freemasons are today. Like,
Good
compared
point.
to the Faithists in Oahspe, if you take it literally, word for word, the Freemasons are a joke compared to what Faithists
They're
actually are
it's the
supposed to
opposite,
be.
the complete opposite of what Oahspe advocates. Like you
It,
pointed out, secrecy. And that's what Oahspe says. There's no more secrecy, there's no more priests, there's no more secret knowledge. It's just go out there and
yeah, that's
start
what
helping
that was
people.
in the past. Now
Yeah.
is another time. Yeah.
No more religion. New age is here. Let's just love each other and help each other and become angels on earth. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not easy to do, but we should live like the angels live, in purity, with love and commitment to helping others.
Yeah, that's what radiance also conveys to us. And if you take a look at what the angels say, like what is said in radiance, according to radiance, there are angels of the second resurrection, and even some Ethereans who talk in radiance. Um, they also Oahspe and radiance are basically meant to create great people who change the world. That's the purpose of this book.
Mhm.
But they also want to unite us. Like Oahspe clearly stresses out, stress emphasizes on the fact that we need to unite. Like we need to join forces,
Right,
and that's really important.
right,
That's
and
what I also try to do. What you are
right,
trying to do.
right.
No, I think that's
That's what we're
what we
doing
have in
now.
common.
We're trying to unite. We're trying to get people together.
Yeah,
We'd like to have we are going to have a spiritual group, Concord, where we create positive energy, and maybe just discuss things which are important issues for helping people to have better lives.
But I also have to say, as a 21-year-old man, that it is a very, very difficult to find like-minded people. I mean, on the one hand, Oahspe makes completely sense. I think if
Mhm.
you take a look at what Oahspe says, what it warns the reader about, like the good thing about Oahspe is it it is clear. It doesn't have any like
Very pure.
similes, any metaphors. It is direct. That's a good thing about Oahspe. And it is also very scientific, what many people don't actually realize. It is very scientific. It has actually one scientific book, which is called the Book of Cosmogony. And if you take a look at the science Oahspe talks about, it is high level quantum mechanical science, like things Oahspe talks about quantum mechanics
It was ahead of its
revealed
time.
today.
It was ahead of its
Yeah,
time.
it is ahead of its time. It's very ahead of its time. That's the biggest difference between Oahspe and other Bible books in the world. Like,
Right.
you
You're
know what I
supposed
mean?
WASP advocates being scientific, logical, have a reason for everything you believe in. You should have a reason for it. You shouldn't accept it because a priest says it, or a spiritual leader says it, or a sacred book says you must do so. Think for yourself. Be free. Only
Yeah,
thing, the only thing the great principle is seek direct inspiration from the universal spirit, from the creator, and keep trying to do your best and keep trying to improve, working with others and uniting to do good things.
I know what you mean, but I, I think when I take a look at the Oahspe groups,
Mm,
I see like there are many
yeah.
couples
Oh,
who had already been couples when they discovered Oahspe. And
oh.
that's a big advantage because like they have each other and
Uh,
they can raise children who are in the belief.
yeah, it
But I
sounds
think
good.
I think it is very difficult for I can say so
Uh,
because I am single myself.
yeah,
It is very
yeah. Good
difficult
luck.
for young single Faithists to find
Good luck.
someone who is not only compatible with you, but
Oh,
furthermore is willing to live according
yeah.
to Oahspe. I mean, I
Mm,
have already. I mean, I'm very like cautious when it's about Oahspe.
mm.
I know it's something that I don't have to like give up that easily, but sometimes I trust people and I talk with them about Oahspe. Like I don't preach, I don't do that,
Uh,
but I tell them that there's a book called Oahspe,
sorry, I'm
and
laughing because
they
I know what's happening.
yeah, and I sent them a copy,
Yeah.
but
They don't
they
accept it. They
was
don't like,
not.
yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
answer. Basically, they don't talk about it anymore. Like,
It
if you know
doesn't
what I mean, I
attract
send it
them.
to them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Brick wall.
yeah,
They're not
like a brick
interested.
wall, and that's very frustrating
Yeah.
because for me, for example, that's a dilemma for me, for example, because Wasp basically tells people that they should only like marry Faithists,
Uh,
but yeah,
not,
how is it going to work?
well, let me give you, okay. When I was in my 20s, same problem. I had the same ideas. Whatever you're saying now, I went through the same thing. I said,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? What's the solution? Become a Jehovah Witness? Become a Catholic? What's the solution? Uh, what happened was I did meet another faithless woman, and we took off, and we went to California to find more faithless, and we didn't stay. It never became a romantic. It never became romantic. We just weren't meant for each other. The basic truth is you shouldn't be looking for Oahspe readers or of people who call themselves faithists for a partner. You can. There's plenty of wonderful people in the world. I married a woman who's a Japanese woman, and she's of the Shinto faith, which is which is very universal. It's the creator's in nature, and nature's in the creator, and the creator's in us. It's very close to what the New Age path is anyway. So
She's
I
still a Shinto?
yeah, Shinto. It's Japanese,
Yeah.
and there's it's anyway, there's not a lot of there. I don't know that much about it, but it's not that intense. It's just very. It's basically live and let live. Okay.
How old were you when you met her?
Well, I was 37, so
When you met your wife?
yeah, she was younger. She was 23, 22, and we married
Oh,
like
okay.
a year, so there's a little age difference, um, but we were right for each other. I don't want you to. I hope you don't have to wait until you're 37 or 38 when you get married. But this is kind of off topic. But the thing is, don't look for someone who's. Don't set the standard. Well, Oahspe is my life's path, therefore I have to marry someone who is of that faith or that spiritual path. I don't think. I think you should reject that completely and just open your mind. I don't think you. I don't think you should even seek. I think I would be scared away from somebody who read Oahspe because if you're in Oahspe, you're still you're working through um, towards a very high ideal, and
It's pure perfectionism, basically, what
yeah,
it teaches. A perfectionist lifestyle. Yeah.
yeah, and the odds are, I don't. It's very unlikely that person, even though you have the same. It's possible. I don't want to tell you you can't do it because you could possibly find someone like that. So I don't say don't, but don't make that the number one reason for falling in love with someone. Um, I think I think you should just turn to the creator, turn to the universe and say, I'm open to whatever. I get in trouble. I think we all get in trouble when we say, I want to have A. I only want A. That's all I want. This thing called A, 1A. But we have to say, no, I'm going to turn to the creator and say, hey, I'm open to what's best for me. I want what's best for the
Yeah.
world. I want what's best for me. If that means this woman's a Baptist or a Muslim, whatever, I think you have to open your mind because people there's another person for you who has the best love for you together. And whatever faith, they may be atheists, who knows? But I think you have to completely open your mind to who that should be. As long as you feel happy together and feel like you can do something positive together, that's what should be your guide.
I mean, if you really take Oahspe literally, then you come to the conclusion that although Oahspe talks about false gods, still no one in a religion, no one belongs to a religion because he wants to worship a false god, basically. I mean,
They don't know it. They
anyone
don't
in a
know it.
religion
Yeah.
wants to pray to the true creator. Like he thinks he's praying to the true creator, and that's his
Well,
intention,
well, it
you know?
depends on. It depends. Even Oahspe says if you can use Allah or whatever, Jesus Christ. What matters is not so much the name you use for the true creator.
Yeah,
It's is this do you have a pure expression of love in your heart? And are you
yeah,
trying to do your best to help people? And if you have that, then it says in Oahspe that you are actually one of the children of you are a worshiper of the true creator if you have that, no matter what name you use, as long as
yeah.
you accept all people as much as you can and love all people as much as you can. The progressive path where you keep trying to improve. So don't worry if someone's whatever they say their spiritual path is. Don't what counts is what's inside your heart.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you're right, because that's what I also think. Like, I think that even atheists believe in something that is supreme, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think true atheism doesn't exist. True atheism. I think that's the point, because even they have, even they know that there is a source in the universe. Like, the creator is the source of all things. And you can't deny that there has been a source of all things. Like you can call it whatever you want, but um, the I mean, science basically confirms that there has been a source of all things. I mean, today it is called the Big Bang,
Uh,
and what scientists call the Big Bang, others call Allah or Jesus or Brahma, you know. And I think if we take a look at every person, then basically everyone somehow believes in the creator, that the creator exists. There are people who, I think the biggest difference is in if you love the creator, how much you love the creator. Like there are people who feel a very strong connection to the creator, but I also know of people who are very uh, angry towards the creator, who some people even like develop some sort of hate towards the creator because they have endured so much in their life, and they think like, if the creator is omnipotent, why hasn't he helped me, if you know what I mean. And I think that's the reason why many people turn to atheism, because they have been disappointed in some way. But
Yeah,
I mean, if something good happens, even an atheist will say thank God. It's basically, if
yeah,
you know what I mean.
I do.
I
Yeah,
think it's a common language.
I wanna talk about a point you made. The atheists do have, a lot of them have good ethical principles. They study philosophical values. Say, I want to be good for the greatest, I want to create the greatest good in the world that I can.
Yeah,
And I don't believe there's a creator or a unifying spirit, but they still act and do very good things. So
yeah,
there you go. Again, it comes down to, do you have love in your heart and you're trying to help
of
other
course,
people?
yeah.
So I think that's the person you should look for. I met, I think dated or dated maybe 4 or 5 Oahspe Faithists ladies, and we were totally,
You did?
yes, they were
Wow, that's a
out
high
there. They were,
number.
when I was in my 20s, they were out there. At least I think you're in the wrong country. Maybe go to California. California has a lot of, there's a lot in California, I would say. Most, New York, possibly also. New York City would probably have a lot, but Los Angeles, you're in the wrong, there's more in America,
Yeah, I live
I
in
would
the wrong
say.
country.
You're
I
in the wrong country.
realized that a long time ago.
but 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 don't feel like you need to meet. But we didn't, but we weren't meant, we weren't, it wasn't a good combination. So it's, to find the right partner, it's more than just the official spiritual path.
I also think about my children, you know. I also want my children
uh,
to embrace Oahspe, if you know what I mean, because it is a liberating way.
hmm,
It teaches to think completely freely,
yeah,
and it it gives you freedom. It's a fact.
right,
Like it
it
helps
does.
you, it protects you from many dangers. Oahspe 200 years ago, almost 200 years ago, Oahspe talked about how bad cigarettes are, how bad drugs are, alcohol,
Yeah,
and also vaccines in that matter. And Oahspe warns us from many dangers which science was lagging behind
right,
of, if you know what I mean.
I do.
Like it really was very ahead of its time. It still is very ahead
Yeah,
of its time.
I want to add to that though. The book needs to be reformed, and the parts which were negative, John Newbrough poisoned the Oahspe by implanting a Masonic, uh, rites and symbols and things into it, which created another kind of alternate religion, made Oahspe into religion with priests and rabbis and stuff like that. That has to be taken out, and that's what's holding Oahspe back. And
That's exactly why currently I'm more inclined on studying Radiance than Oahspe, because Radiance
yes, more pure.
is like more in time. It is
Yeah,
after
modern.
Oahspe was published,
Yeah, you're right.
and
You're right.
yeah, it
Yeah,
it is current. It is just current. Yeah, it is modern. That's why I read Radiance,
yeah,
because yeah,
right. And they advocate good works, but they also advocate transforming the world and yourself by creating powerful spiritual energy through blessings,
yeah.
affirmations. And I think that's what
Affirmations foremost. Yeah,
I
I
want.
use them.
That's what I want. That's what I want us to talk about next time, I guess. I wanted to do that today, but we had a different topic. But I want
Yeah,
to start talking about how to create blessings, spiritual power that can go out and help change the world. My sister was seriously ill the past few weeks, but through friends, we all decided to pray. Basically, blessings are prayers, and we were able to help. I believe our prayers and our blessings helped her get well. So I'm trying to say. So we each have the power to change our lives for the better through affirmations, blessings.
Of course. You can even, what's even greater is that I'm currently studying hypnosis and self-hypnosis. And many people are afraid of hypnosis because they see all the movies and they convey the message that hypnosis takes away your free will. But that's not true. The opposite is true. Did you know that you can't hypnotize a person against his will? That's simply impossible. You have to want something in order to get hypnotized. And you can't get robbed of your free will. That's impossible. And Oahspe also talks about it. And I mean, or radiance in that case. And you can use the affirmations and you can include them, integrate them in a hypnosis script. And that way it works more efficiently for you than if you just repeat the affirmations. That's what I'm currently doing. I'm using the affirmations from Radiance and I'm integrating them into a hypnosis script. There is a method which is called instant self-hypnosis. And that way it enters my subconscious mind much quicker. Yeah, more
Makes sense.
quickly.
Yeah, I think we all use different terms, hypnosis and so on. And I think you're right that the affirmations are tricky in that you can, I think it's good to pray or affirm affirmations written in Radiance or by other people, but only to a degree and only at certain times. I think for the most part, you want to create new affirmations which are spontaneously in tune with the universe from within yourself. For
From
example,
within, yeah.
so right now, I might say something like, we have all the power and love in the universe to unfold the goodness within ourselves. We have all the power and love in the universe to unfold the goodness within ourselves. So I just made that up now. And
Yeah,
I think that's the key, is to keep practicing, like playing on a piano. You have all these good words that you could, and good ideals you can tap into to, as you say, hypnotize or re to transform your being into.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I felt the same. I've noticed that if I create my own affirmations,
Mm,
but spontaneously, if I think
yes,
about it, for example, if I
spontaneous.
listen to music and then I spontaneously think of
Me too.
affirmations,
Me too.
they are more like they have a
More
more
powerful.
powerful effect
Yeah.
on me
Yeah.
than if I use outside affirmations. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's also your case, but in my
It is.
case, the affirmations from within
Mm,
become so powerful that they evoke great feelings in me, the
mm.
great sensations, emotions, and sometimes I get to cry because of those emotions. I get tears from it. Is it also your case? Does it also happen to you?
Sometimes I have cried, but basically there's like a feeling of happiness and empowerment. And what the bottom line is, therefore, when I interact with other people, I'm a teacher. I'm a more positive person, a more positive teacher, or I'm a more positive friend, or a more
Yeah,
positive spouse for my partner. So um, people might say, well, who cares whether you change yourself? Well, but if you can do this, you can become a better person, and you can like sort of channel or flow good feelings towards other people that will help them be happier and more in tune and more empowered to do good things in this world. I
yeah.
I have like a rosary where I think, here's all the people in my life, and I pray for them every day at certain times. And I pray for
Okay,
you.
that's
I pray for
great.
you, Elijah. I bless you. And I don't know, I'm not
Really.
sure if it helps, but at least there's a more positive energy between us. I know it helps to pray for everybody, to bless everyone.